Hostages have often been in situations where they needed to send secret messages to communicate with the outside world, reveal their location, or provide information about their captors. These secret messages can take many forms, such as subtle gestures, hidden writings, or coded language. Throughout history, numerous hostages have employed ingenious methods to send messages, some of which have played critical roles in their eventual rescue or in providing essential intelligence to authorities. This extensive exploration will delve into various historical and modern examples of secret messages sent by hostages, highlighting the creativity and resourcefulness exhibited in these dire circumstances. One notable historical example is the story of Mary, Queen of Scots. Imprisoned by Queen Elizabeth Ras of England for 19 years, Mary was implicated in plots to overthrow Elizabeth. During her captivity, she managed to smuggle out letters in code. These letters often contained secret messages to her supporters, discussing plans for her escape or attempts to gain political support. The famous Babington plot, which ultimately led to her execution, was a result of intercepted coded messages. Mary used a cipher where letters were replaced with symbols, showcasing the early use of cryptography in secret communications by hostages. In more recent history, during the Vietnam War, American prisoners of war, POWWs, in North Vietnam developed various methods to communicate secretly. One of the most well-known methods was the tap code, a simple and effective way to convey messages by tapping on walls or pipes. The tap code is based on a 5x5 grid of letters, where each letter is represented by two numbers corresponding to its position in the grid. For instance, the letter E, located in the first row and fifth column, would be communicated by tapping once, pausing, and then tapping 5 times. This system allowed POWs to share vital information, maintain morale, and coordinate resistance efforts without their captors understanding the content of their messages. The story of American journalist Terry Anderson, who was kidnapped by Hezbollah in Lebanon in 1985 and held for nearly 7 years, provides another example of ingenious secret messaging. During his captivity, Anderson managed to send coded messages in his letters home. By using prearranged codes and subtle references, he was able to convey information about his condition and treatment. Anderson's letters were scrutinized by his captors, so he had to be extremely careful in crafting his messages to avoid detection while still providing meaningful information to his family and authorities. The case of Iranian hostages taken during the U.S. Embassy seizure in Tehran in 1979 also highlights the use of secret messages. The hostages were held for 444 days, and throughout their captivity they found ways to send covert signals. Some hostages used personal items like photographs and letters to hide secret messages. They would include seemingly innocuous details that had prearranged meanings, such as references to books or events known only to their families and intelligence agencies. These messages helped maintain a line of communication with the outside world, providing updates on their status and conditions. One particularly ingenious method involved hostages disguising messages within seemingly innocent drawings or writings. For instance, in the case of the American missionaries Martin and Gracia Burnham, who were kidnapped by the Abu Sayyaf group in the Philippines in 2001, Gracia managed to send hidden messages in her letters. She used a combination of overt religious references and hidden codes to communicate with her family and authorities. By including specific Bible verses and subtle word patterns, she was able to provide clues about their location and the situation without arousing the suspicions of her captors. During World War II, prisoners of war in Nazi Germany developed various methods to send secret messages. One notable example is the use of escape maps hidden in Monopoly game sets. The British government, in collaboration with the game's manufacturer, devised a plan to smuggle escape aids to POWs. These Monopoly sets, distributed through humanitarian aid organizations, contained maps, compasses, and currency hidden within the game components. The maps were printed on silk to avoid detection and withstand harsh conditions. This ingenious method helped many POWs plan and execute their escapes. The story of Colonel Rowe, a U.S. Army officer held captive in Vietnam for over 5 years, is another example of the creativity and resilience of hostages. Colonel Rowe managed to send a secret message to the U.S. military by embedding it in a seemingly innocent letter. He wrote a letter to his family describing mundane details of his life, but included a subtle reference to a Bible verse that signaled he was alive and provided crucial information about his location. This message eventually led to his rescue. In more recent times, the advent of technology has provided hostages with new methods to send secret messages. The case of British journalist John Cantley, who was kidnapped by ISIS in Syria, illustrates this. Cantley appeared in several propaganda videos, but in one particular video, he used subtle body language and eye movements to convey a message. By blinking in a specific pattern, he spelled out a word using Morse code, indicating his distress and providing clues about his situation. This method required careful planning and execution, demonstrating the adaptability of hostages in using available resources to communicate covertly. The story of Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight, who were held captive by Ariel Castro in Cleveland for over a decade, highlights the importance of timing and opportunity in sending secret messages. Amanda Berry seized an opportunity when Castro left the house briefly, managing to call out to a neighbor for help. This courageous act led to their rescue. While not a traditional secret message, Berry's quick thinking and use of the moment to communicate her plight underscores the importance of vigilance and resourcefulness in hostage situations. Hostages have also used everyday objects to send secret messages. In the case of journalist Daniel Pearl, who was kidnapped and murdered by terrorists in Pakistan, he managed to send a hidden message in a photograph. Pearl subtly signaled his location and the identities of his captors by positioning himself and using specific gestures in the photo. Unfortunately, despite his efforts, the message was not deciphered in time to save him, but it remains a testament to his attempt to communicate under extreme duress. The use of secret messages by hostages is not limited to wartime or political captivity. Well, kidnapping for ransom is a widespread criminal activity, and victims often find themselves in situations where they must communicate covertly to survive. One example is the case of J.C. Dugard, who was abducted and held captive for 18 years. Dugard managed to send subtle signals through letters and drawings, providing clues about her identity and location. These messages, while not immediately deciphered, eventually contributed to her rescue. In situations where hostages are held for extended periods, maintaining hope and morale is crucial. Secret messages can serve not only as a means of communication, but also as a way to sustain the mental and emotional well-being of the captives. By finding ways to communicate, hostages can reinforce their sense of agency and resilience, knowing that they are not alone and that efforts are being made to secure their release. Hostages often develop complex systems of communication, relying on codes, symbols, and prearranged signals. These systems can be incredibly sophisticated, involving layers of meaning and redundancy to ensure that messages can be conveyed even under close scrutiny. For example, during the Lebanese Civil War, several Western hostages held by Hezbollah used a combination of gestures, coded language, and hidden messages in personal items to communicate with each other and the outside world. These methods required careful planning and coordination, highlighting the resourcefulness and ingenuity of the hostages. The use of secret messages by hostages also underscores the importance of preparation and foresight. Many hostages who have successfully communicated with the outside world had prearranged codes and signals established with their families or colleagues. These preparations can be crucial in ensuring that messages are understood and acted upon quickly. For instance, journalists working in conflict zones often establish emergency protocols and communication methods with their news organizations to ensure their safety and facilitate rescue efforts if they are captured. Hostage situations are inherently dangerous and unpredictable, and the ability to send secret messages can make the difference between life and death. The creativity and determination displayed by hostages in finding ways to communicate under extreme conditions are a testament to the human spirit and the will to survive. These stories of secret messages not only highlight the challenges faced by hostages, but also the lengths to which they will go to regain their freedom and provide vital information to those working to rescue them. In the realm of espionage, hostages who are spies or intelligence agents often have advanced training in covert communication techniques. These individuals may use a variety of methods to send secret messages, including microdots, invisible ink, and steganography, hiding information within images or other media. These techniques require a high level of skill and precision, allowing the agent to convey complex information without detection. The ability to send secret messages is a crucial aspect of spy tradecraft, enabling agents to continue their missions even when captured. The case of Soviet spy Richard Sorge, who operated in Japan during World War II, is a prime example of the use of secret messages in espionage. Sorge sent coded messages to Soviet intelligence, providing crucial information about German and Japanese plans. Despite being captured and executed, his messages had a significant impact on the outcome of the war. His ability to communicate covertly while under close surveillance demonstrates the critical importance of secret messaging in intelligence operations. Hostages who manage to escape often share their experiences and methods of communication, providing valuable insights for future captives and rescuers. These accounts can help develop new strategies and technologies for covert communication, improving the chances of successful rescues. For example, the experiences of former hostages have informed the training of military and intelligence personnel, enhancing their ability to deal with captivity and send secret messages if necessary. The development of new technologies has also provided hostages with additional tools for sending secret messages. Advances in digital communication, encryption, and data hiding have expanded the possibilities for covert messaging. Hostages with access to smartphones or other electronic devices may use encrypted messaging apps, steganographic techniques, or even covertly recorded audio or video to send information. These technologies require technical knowledge and skill, but they can provide powerful means of communication in dire situations. The psychological impact of being able to send secret messages cannot be overstated. For hostages, the act of communicating, even in the smallest ways, can provide a sense of hope and agency. Knowing that they are actively working towards their rescue and that their messages are being received can bolster their mental resilience and determination to survive. This psychological support is crucial in maintaining the will to endure the hardships of captivity. Secret messages can also play a critical role in legal and diplomatic efforts to secure the release of hostages. By providing evidence of their conditions, identities of captors, and locations, these messages can be used to build cases against perpetrators and negotiate for the hostages' release. In some instances, secret messages have provided the crucial pieces of information needed to launch successful rescue operations or to apply diplomatic pressure on captors. The ingenuity displayed by hostages in sending secret messages is a testament to the power of human creativity and resilience. From ancient ciphers to modern digital techniques, the methods used to communicate covertly have evolved, but the underlying principle remains the same: the determination to survive and reach out for help. These stories of secret messages offer a glimpse into the extraordinary lengths to which individuals will go to secure their freedom and provide critical information to the outside world. In conclusion, the history of secret messages sent by hostages is a rich tapestry of human ingenuity, resilience, and hope. Whether through coded letters, subtle gestures, or advanced digital techniques, hostages have found ways to communicate under the most challenging and dangerous conditions. These messages have often been pivotal in securing their release, providing vital intelligence, and maintaining their psychological well-being. The creativity and determination exhibited in these acts of covert communication serve as powerful reminders of the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity.